Hey friends, welcome to today's video. My name's Stephanie and today we are going on a tropical getaway with Holo Taco's vacation collection. So big thank you to Holo Taco for sending this collection in PR. This collection features 5 super sparkly shades in a pretty interesting color story, and I, of course, will have some comparisons and share more of my thoughts at the end. For now, let's get into the swatches. Actually, let's take a quick look at the box. It is just such a cute vacation themed box, and when you open it up, there's this water kind of pattern with a holographic effect. I love this so much. I honestly kind of wish it was all over the box instead of just the inside. And my other favorite detail is the inside also has this coarse kind of sandy feel, so it's just so cute. So the first polish we have is Never Tied Down, and it is this beautifully bright teal kind of blue that has a really beautiful gold shimmer in there, and there's also these gold flakies, a bunch of glitters. It is absolutely packed and so sparkly. So the formula on this one was absolutely amazing. It was so full coverage. It is nearly opaque on the first coat. You could barely make out my nail line. So I feel like if you had very little to no free edge and you did a slightly thicker coat, you might be able to get away with just one coat if you're in a rush. But I just needed 2 and it was fully opaque, and I am just so in love. This is definitely one of my favorites from this collection. It is so pretty, and it didn't feel chunky or anything considering how much glitter and flakies are in here, so I really love that. The next shade we have is Tax Haven, and this is a brown multichrome with the shimmer that shifts from an intense bright burgundy red to copper and gold in extreme angles. And there's also a beautiful dusting of a holographic sparkle in here as well. So this one I definitely was surprised by color-wise to see in the lineup. It just feels like a fall brown to me, not just because it's brown, but the multichrome shimmer. I know I didn't do a great job of capturing it, but the way that it shifts between those fiery kind of colors, it just reads as a fall brown to me. But either way, this one still was really beautiful. As you saw with the formula, it was a little bit finicky for me on the first coat, but I got it fully opaque in 2 coats, which isn't a surprise considering this is such a dark shade. The next shade we have is Private Villa, and I would describe this one as a very hot pink leaning red kind of a shade. And this one is in a jelly base with a very densely packed gold microflake, and there's also these hot pink reflective glitters. So no surprise that I absolutely love this one, and it's my top pick from this collection. I'm just so happy to see this jelly leaning formula from Holo Taco, and I'm sure so many people are going to be really excited about this one too, especially with the combination of the bright color and all of the flakies and reflective glitters in here. It's just such a sparkly shade, so perfect for summer. So the formula on this one was such a dream, as expected, with kind of jelly shades. It was very even coverage, and honestly on 2 coats it looks really good. You could barely see through to my nail line. So I think normally I would just wear this in 2 coats, but I wanted to show you how it looks built up in 3 because it reaches much fuller opacity, where I would say maybe it's like 97% there. And here it is with flash. Unfortunately, I feel like you couldn't really see the pink reflective glitter here on camera, but it's definitely there. Up next we have Beach Please, and it is a super fine sandy colored micro glitter with a holographic sparkle and also these gold reflective glitters. So this is definitely more of the true glitter formula in this lineup. As you can see here on the first coat, the base is a little bit tinted, and it really allows all of those micro glitters to shine through, and you can see just how packed it is. So maybe not surprisingly, but I did get this fully opaque for me in just 2 coats because of how densely packed it is with the glitters. And because they are finer than some of the other Holo Taco glitters, I found that it was a lot easier to apply and I didn't have to dab the glitters on my nail as much. So overall, I think this one is so pretty and definitely very sandy looking. So here is under flash, so you can see the gold reflective glitter. I think it's a little more apparent on my thumb that's out of focus, but it's so pretty. And the last shade in the collection is Late Checkout, and it is this intensely vibrant purple shade with a blue shimmer and also a holographic sparkle and orange reflective glitter, or maybe it's copper. I'm not exactly sure what color they're describing it with, but I see it as orange. So this one was another surprise for me because of just how dark it was, but I was so blown away by how beautiful this looks in the bottle. On the first coat, it wasn't anything to write home about necessarily, but it built up to be fully opaque in 2 coats, and you can see just how intense that blue shimmer is. I feel like it just glows and it looks so pretty. It really does give it a blurple kind of vibe, but I really think that this is more of a true purple shade just with a blue shimmer. But yeah, this one was so pretty. I love how it looks even without the flash. It just kind of reminds me of like a night sky or something, but with the flash it becomes a party. I love how the orange reflective glitter just pops so much. I really am more of a fan of this contrasting combination because I feel like the other ones kind of got lost in the similar base color, but this one really stands out. So moving on to comparisons, we're starting with Never Tied Down and looking at it next to Hydropower, which is their vibrant aqua teal kind of linear holographic. So these are maybe similar color-wise, but definitely different formulas. So I thought of also showing this next to ILNP's Enchanted from their recent Fairy Forest collection, just because it's a little bit more similar as far as that very sparkly teal kind of shade goes with a beautiful gold flash. But yeah, on the nails, you can see they are definitely very different. So Hydropower is, again, maybe kind of similar color-wise, but it lacks a lot of depth compared to these other 2 shades. And Enchanted is much more on the green teal leaning side, and it doesn't have as many flakies as Never Tied Down. So I also thought of showing these next to a few Mooncat shades. First up, we have Mooncat's Poseidon's Prize, which was from their Expedition Atlantis collection. This one looks pretty similar in the bottle, but it's definitely a lot more blue leaning, and it also has reflective glitter, which the Holo Taco one does not. And I also wanted to show this next to Mooncat's Sunken Splendor, which is from that same collection. And this one is obviously more of a green leaning shade, but this one has those gold flakes in there as well and that gold shimmer. So I feel like Never Tied Down is a really good in-between of these 2 Mooncat shades, because Sunken Splendor is just too green on its own, but then Poseidon's Prize is missing all of those little flakies. So yeah, I think Never Tied Down is a really nice combination of both of these, and I'm curious to know which one you like the most. Next up for Tax Haven, I wanted to do a quick side-by-side with Holo Taco's Fairy Tale, which is their brown magnetic. I really thought these were going to be a lot closer because Fairy Tale has a similar multichrome kind of shimmer and a delicate hollow sparkle, but it's a lot more cool-toned than Tax Haven is. So I thought for a closer color comparison, I could show this next to ILNP's Fawn, which is a warm brown magnetic polish that is also very sparkly and kind of has a multi-chrome shift, but it's obviously a lot lighter, a lot more of a yellow, orangey, amber leaning kind of color. So these ended up not really being that similar on the nail. Maybe they're more similar in terms of their general effect, but not their color. Then I remembered Cirque's Eye of the Beholder, and this one is also a magnetic, but even if we don't magnetize it, I feel like this one is probably one of the closer shades because the multi-chrome shimmer in this one is very similar to what's in Tax Haven. But in Cirque, it's just kind of missing that extra holographic sparkle. So they are very similar, not exact dupes by any means really, but I think if you have Eye of the Beholder, you wouldn't necessarily need Tax Haven. but you'll have to let me know what you think. So for Private Villa, I was immediately reminded of the ILNP Splashed collection last year, which is their line of jelly holographic shades. So here it is next to Poppy, which is the red from that collection. And I also am going to be comparing it next to Playdate from that same collection, but this one is the hot pink. So as you can kind of tell just from the bottle comparisons, Private Villa is a pretty in-between shade, where Playdate is just a lot more pink, and then Poppy is more of a orangey leaning red. And finish-wise, they also are a little bit different. The ILNP splash shades just have a silver holographic flaky in them, but Private Villa has this gold microflake and then the pink reflective glitter. So no dupes here. Next up for Beach Please, I have Mooncat's Treasured Trove to compare it to, which is also from the Expedition Atlantis collection. This one is more of a true antique gold kind of shade though, so it's a lot warmer and maybe brassy looking compared to how cool toned and almost champagne leaning Beach Please is. But that one also has reflective glitters in it, but they're silver, whereas the ones in Beach Please are gold. But either way, when you see them here without flash, you can tell the difference right away. Beach Please has more of that micro glitter formula, whereas Mooncat's is almost like a metallic, shimmery kind of polish. And it's obviously a little darker. So here it is with flash. Again, it's not that easy to tell on the nail, but obviously in the background, you can see those bottles glowing with their different reflective glitters. And lastly, for late checkout, I wanted to do a quick side-by-side with Royal Crush from the recent Holo Royalty debut trio. This one is obviously just a wildly different formula, but even color-wise, they are very different shades of purple, and there's obviously a intense blue shimmer in late checkout. So for a closer color comparison, I have ILNP's Last Call, which is from their New Year's Eve collection last year. And this one is a very intense blurple shade with a really strong blue shimmer. And I feel like it also has a pinky leaning duochrome effect to it that you can see in the edges of the bottle. So they kind of give off a similar vibe, but they're definitely not dupes. First of all, what you see here is picking up very, very blue on camera. Both of these definitely lean a lot more purple. Late checkout for sure is a purple shade. I would say that Last Call is more of a true blurple. But yeah, the main difference between these is that late checkout has that reflective glitter in there, and hopefully with the flash you can see it actually is a little bit more purple. So similar, but not dupes. So that wraps up my swatches and comparisons for Holo Taco's vacation collection. As always, I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this release and if it's living up to your vacation getaway dreams, because as much as I do really like the formulas of these and how sparkly they are, I think they are all so beautiful. I was a little bit thrown off by the color palette just because for me, I'm a big seasonal wearer, and so for summer, I love just brighter shades. And I was just kind of surprised to see such a dark brown and a dark purple. I know that they make sense when you think of like traditional coconuts and coconut drinks, or even the purple just reminds me of like going out to a club when you're on vacation with like the lighting and the, you know, the reflective glitter and stuff. I'm not really sure if that's the exact inspiration behind them, but I can like see the vibes of it. And so it makes sense, but I would have preferred having a lime green in this lineup just because I love lime green for summer. And I think it would have looked cute in this lineup too, maybe instead of Tax Haven. But then I think late checkout would kind of stick out like a sore thumb being the only dark shade. So I kind of get having both of them just to kind of anchor the colors palette a little bit. But yeah, I'm just partial to the lighter and brighter shades. I do think I would enjoy wearing Tax Haven and late checkout later in the summer, more of like a transitional, you know, getting ready for the fall season. I think those would be really perfect for that. Yeah, you'll have to let me know any and all thoughts that you have down below so we can chat about it. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.